I'm Batista. My friends call me Bunny. We're in the rafters right now of my studio to talk about darks and lights for this episode 7. I'm continuing my charcoal work on my Laocoon study. Let's have a look.
A little quick history. I saw the Laocoon, beautiful sculpture in the Vatican, and was told by the guide, interesting story. So the statue was discovered in a vineyard, and this was at the time of Pope Julius II. Michelangelo was called to the site as it was discovered, along with Florentine architect Giuliano de Sangallo and his son, and missing parts and whatnot, but they were there for this unearthing of this absolutely gorgeous, writhing, twisting, Hellenistic Greek sculpture. So it would have been a really exciting time, and clearly this expressive and exciting work highly influenced the work of Michelangelo in his day. As for me, I too found it beautiful and inspiring, and I decided with this work, it was a very pale subject matter, being white marble, but I really wanted to exemplify how pushing the darks to get yourself more form. You can only go as light as your paper. That's the brightest light, the whitest white that you can have. So as an artist, it's really up to us to push our tools into the dark areas. And when I say push the tools, I think you'll notice that I push pretty hard. I put a lot of material and really rub it into the paper so that I can stay. I brought this piece unfinished to a class, dropped it, nothing wiped off, but also just to show I could smear my hand across it. Because I'm pressing the material so hard in the paper, it really doesn't smudge onto my hand. That key being is that you need to have a good paper. You can erase vigorously to remove some of the tonality on the paper to get your lighter light. And then it's so easy just to keep adding darks on top. And those darks are what help create form. Now you can also see that I am choosing to use charcoal and pencils for much finer work rather than the compressed charcoal or vine charcoal. And also I have a variety of erasers to choose from. I do really like how far this is coming at this point. It's one of those things with professionalism that you kind of, at a certain point, you get a little bored working on the thing you're working with. So you need to also find the things that excite you, find new ways of looking at it, but also focusing on details and moving around the whole space of the picture plane can really help. I ended up creating more work for myself, of course, as I do. Deciding to lighten up the background tone, which means taking my stump and rubbing and removing a lot of material throughout the process. So I have to match up my background now and remove it all. But I also added some cracks that were actually in the sculpture reference material, which is a dark right beside a light. And this dark beside a light gives you high contrast, which gives the idea of something cracking in deeply and the light hitting the side of the fissure. And we'll continue on next episode. Keep talking about this piece.
Thanks for joining me in my studio rafters this week. I'm going to be continuing the work on my Laocoon study and talk a little bit more about how to create form using light and dark. So for now, I'm going to turn out the lights in the studio, get on to other things. Thanks for joining me.